I stared at my phone screen, my heart racing with excitement. The pre-wedding photos had just arrived from our photographer, and they were absolutely perfect. Mark and I looked like we'd stepped out of a fairy tale. The golden sunset behind us, my white dress flowing in the breeze, his arms wrapped around me protectively. I'd been planning this moment for 6 months. Not just the photo shoot, but sharing it with the world. Everyone who knew us had been following our engagement journey on social media. They were waiting for this moment as eagerly as I was. I opened our text thread and sent Mark the best photo. "Babe, can we post this tonight? It's perfect." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, his response came. "I'm not ready to post that yet." My stomach dropped. Not ready. We were getting married in 3 months. What could he possibly not be ready for? I called him immediately. "Mark, what do you mean you're not ready? Everyone's been waiting for our pre-wedding photos." His voice was cold, distant. "Mia, I just don't want that kind of attention right now. Can we wait?" I hung up, feeling tears sting my eyes. Something wasn't right. That night, I couldn't sleep. Mark's refusal kept playing in my mind like a broken record. This wasn't just about a photo. It was about something deeper, something I'd been ignoring for months. Mark had always been private, but this felt different. This felt like rejection. I thought about all the times I'd put his needs first. When he wanted to focus on his career, I'd postponed my own dreams. When he said he wasn't comfortable with me posting certain things, I deleted them without question. But this photo represented us, our love, our future. Why was he hiding it? I grabbed my phone and looked at the image again. We looked so happy, so perfect, so in love. But was it real? At 3 a.m, I made a decision. I was done waiting for Mark's permission to celebrate my own life. I was done making myself smaller to make him comfortable. If he wouldn't post the photo, I would. My finger hovered over the share button. My heart pounded. This was my moment of rebellion. I pressed it. The photo uploaded to my Instagram with a simple caption. 3 months until forever. Then I turned off my phone and tried to sleep, knowing tomorrow would bring consequences. I woke up to 53 notifications. Then 100. Then the number kept climbing, so fast I couldn't keep track. My hands trembled as I opened Instagram. The photo had exploded. Comments flooded in from friends, acquaintances, and complete strangers. "You two are absolutely stunning. This is the most beautiful pre-wedding photo I've ever seen. Where did you get that dress? I need it for my wedding." My follower count, which had been sitting at a modest 800, had jumped to over 3,000 overnight. I sat up in bed, stunned. This wasn't supposed to happen. I just wanted to share a meaningful moment. But somehow, the photo had resonated with people in a way I never expected. My phone rang. "Mark." "Mia, what did you do?" His voice was tight with anger. "I posted our photo. After I specifically told you I wasn't ready. Do you have any idea how this makes me feel?" "How does it make you feel, Mark?" "Because I felt dismissed and controlled when you refused." Silence. Then he hung up. I looked at my phone, watching notifications continue to pour in. Maybe this wasn't just about defiance. Maybe this was about finding my own voice. By the end of the week, the photo had been shared over 5,000 times. Fashion bloggers were asking about my dress. Wedding planners were reaching out for collaboration opportunities. A local magazine wanted to feature our love story. I was overwhelmed and exhilarated. My inbox was full of messages from brands wanting to work with me. Small businesses offering free products if I'd post about them. A wedding planning app wanted me to become their brand ambassador. I sat at my kitchen table, staring at opportunities I'd never imagined possible. All from one photo, one moment of refusing to stay silent. But Mark's reaction cast a shadow over everything. He'd barely spoken to me in days. When he did, his words were clipped and cold. He refused to acknowledge what was happening. At dinner that evening, I tried to show him the magazine feature request. He pushed my phone away. "I don't want to see it, Mia. This whole thing is ridiculous." "Ridiculous?" "Mark, this could be something real. These opportunities could change our lives. Your life, maybe. Not ours." His words hit like a slap. I realized then that Mark didn't want our lives to change. He wanted everything to stay exactly as it was, with him in control. Mark showed up at my apartment unannounced, his face red with anger. "We need to talk about this photo situation. You completely disrespected my wishes. I set down my coffee, preparing for the fight I knew was coming. You disrespected my feelings first. That photo was important to me. Important? You made me look like a fool. Everyone's congratulating us, and I had no idea the photo was even going up. Because you refused to post it. What was I supposed to do? Just let that beautiful moment disappear because you're too insecure to share a relationship? Mark's jaw clenched. Insecure? This isn't about insecurity. It's about privacy. It's about respect. Things you clearly don't understand anymore. Or maybe it's about control. I shot back. Maybe it's about you wanting to dictate every aspect of our relationship, including when and how I celebrate it. He stared at me like I was a stranger. Who even are you right now? This isn't the Mia I proposed to. Maybe that Mia was too busy trying to please you to be herself. We stood in silence, the distance between us feeling wider than the physical space. Finally, Mark grabbed his jacket. Call me when you're ready to apologize and take down that photo. He left, slamming the door behind him. I didn't call him, and I didn't take down the photo. The offers kept coming, and I kept accepting them. A skincare brand wanted me to promote their products. A local boutique offered me a collaboration. A wedding planning company wanted me to be their social media consultant. Each opportunity felt like validation that I was more than just Mark's fiancée. I was Mia, a woman with her own value and potential. I started creating more content. Behind-the-scenes wedding planning posts, tips for brides-to-be, honest conversations about relationships and self-worth. My followers responded enthusiastically, sharing their own stories. My platform was becoming something real, something meaningful. I found myself spending hours crafting posts, engaging with my growing community, and exploring possibilities I'd never considered. One evening, as I reviewed a contract for my first paid partnership, reality hit me. I could build a career from this. An actual career doing something I loved. The thought was both thrilling and terrifying. It meant investing time and energy into something that wasn't Mark, wasn't us, wasn't the safe future we'd planned. I signed the contract. When Mark asked what I was doing, I told him I was launching my own digital platform. His response was silence. Then, "You're really doing this?" "Yes, I really am." He left without another word. I watched him go, feeling something inside me shift permanently. My platform, Mia's Authentic Journey, launched on a Tuesday morning. I'd spent weeks preparing content, designing graphics, and crafting my brand message. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within 48 hours, I had over 15,000 followers. Brands were reaching out daily. I was featured in 3 wedding blogs. A podcast invited me as a guest to discuss authentic relationships and social media. I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years. Every morning, I woke up excited about work. Every evening, I fell asleep satisfied with what I'd accomplished. But Mark was nowhere in this new life. He'd stopped attending my events. He didn't ask about my day. When I tried to share my excitement, he'd change the subject or find an excuse to leave. One night, I tried to bridge the gap. "Mark, can we talk about what's happening between us?" He didn't look up from his phone. "What's there to talk about? You've made your choice." "My choice?" "Mark, I'm just building a career. Couples support each other's dreams." Dreams. He finally met my eyes. "This isn't a dream, Mia. It's you choosing attention and validation from strangers over our relationship. Or maybe it's me finally choosing myself." His silence confirmed what I'd been feeling. We were growing apart, and neither of us knew how to stop it. The tension between us became unbearable. Mark started working late every night. When he was home, he was cold and distant. He refused to discuss my work, my success, or our relationship. At a friend's dinner party, someone congratulated me on my growing platform. Mark's jaw tightened. "Yeah, she's really enjoying her 15 minutes of fame." The table went quiet. I felt humiliation burn through me. Later, in the car, I confronted him. "How dare you dismiss my work like that? How dare you embarrass me by prioritizing Instagram followers over our relationship?" "I'm not embarrassing you. I'm building something meaningful." "Meaningful? You're playing influencer while our engagement falls apart." We screamed at each other until we were both exhausted. When we finally fell silent, the space between us felt insurmountable. That night, I stayed at my own apartment instead of his place. As I lay in bed, I thought about the choice forming in front of me. Continue building my platform and risk losing Mark, or abandon everything to save our relationship. The old Mia would have chosen Mark without hesitation. But the new Mia, the one who'd found her voice and her worth, wasn't sure anymore. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number appeared, changing everything. My best friend, Sarah, pulled me aside at brunch. "Mia, I need to be honest with you. I'm worried." I set down my mimosa. "About what?" "About all of this. The platform, the content, the constant posts. You're changing, and I'm not sure it's for the better." Her words stung. "I'm pursuing something I'm passionate about. How is that wrong?" "It's not wrong, but you're engaged. Mark should be your priority. Instead, you're choosing internet strangers over your relationship." I looked around the table. Other friends nodded in agreement. "So I should just give up everything I've built?" "We're saying you need balance," another friend added. The old Mia would never have ignored Mark like this. The old Mia let Mark control everything. The table went silent. I realized I'd said too much. I grabbed my purse. "I'm sorry, but if supporting my success means watching me fail to keep a man happy, then maybe we see things differently." I left, feeling angry and alone. Everyone seemed to think I was wrong for choosing myself. My phone buzzed with a call from my mother. I knew what was coming. "Mia, darling, Mark called me. He's very upset about this social media thing." "Mom, not you too. I'm just saying, marriage requires compromise. Maybe you should consider what's really important." I hung up, tears streaming down my face. Was everyone right? Was I destroying my future for something temporary? The email arrived at 2 a.m. Subject line, "Your potential." I almost deleted it, assuming it was spam. But something made me open it. "Dear Mia, I've been following your journey with great interest. Your authentic approach to social media and relationships is rare and valuable. I'd like to offer you guidance as you navigate this critical phase of your career. If you're interested, reply to this email. Consider me a mentor who wants to help you reach your full potential. You have something special. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." There was no signature, no company name, just an anonymous email address. I should have been suspicious, but instead I felt seen. Understood. This stranger believed in me when everyone else was telling me to stop. I replied, "Who are you? And why do you want to help me?" The response came within minutes. Who I am matters less than what I can offer. Guidance, strategy, support. Your platform has potential far beyond what you're currently seeing. Trust me, and I'll show you how to transform this moment into lasting success. I stared at the message, my mind racing. This could be a scam. It could be dangerous. But it could also be the opportunity I'd been waiting for. Against my better judgment, I typed, "What do you want in return?" "Nothing. Just to watch you succeed." Mark's resentment grew more obvious every day. When I showed him a new partnership offer, he scoffed. "Another company trying to exploit your little viral moment? How long do you think this lasts?" "It's not exploitation. It's opportunity." "It's vanity," he corrected. "You're so obsessed with likes and comments that you can't see how shallow this all is." His words cut deep, but I refused to let him diminish my success. "Just because you're jealous doesn't mean what I'm doing is worthless." "Jealous?" He laughed bitterly. "Of what?" "Your Instagram followers." "Please." But I saw the truth in his eyes. He was jealous. Jealous of the attention I was receiving, the success I was building, the independence I was claiming. My mysterious mentor had warned me about this. People who feel threatened will try to make you feel small. Don't let them. I'd been receiving regular emails with advice on growing my platform, handling criticism, and maintaining authenticity. The guidance was invaluable, always arriving exactly when I needed it. When Mark made another cutting remark about my work, I finally snapped. "If you can't support me, then maybe we need to reconsider this engagement." He stared at me, shocked. "You'd throw away our relationship for social media fame?" "I'd throw away a relationship where my partner tears me down instead of building me up." The truth hung between us, heavy and undeniable. The invitation arrived via email from a major industry conference. They wanted me to speak about authentic branding and social media growth. The speaking fee alone was more than I'd made in 6 months at my old job. This was it, the moment that could legitimize everything I'd been building. I accepted immediately. When I told Mark, his response was devastating. "I'm not going." "What?" "Mark, this is huge for me. I need you there." "Why? So I can watch you perform for an audience of strangers?" "No thanks. This isn't a performance. This is my career." "This is your ego," he corrected, "and I'm done feeding it." I felt something break inside me. The men I'd planned to marry wouldn't even show up to support the biggest moment of my professional life. My mentor's email that night was direct. His absence tells you everything you need to know. People who love you show up, especially when it matters most. I spent the next 2 weeks preparing my speech alone. I rehearsed in front of my mirror, practiced answering potential questions, and refined my message. Mark watched my preparations with cold indifference. The night before the conference, I packed my suitcase in silence. Mark sat on the couch, scrolling through his phone. "Good luck tomorrow," he said without looking up. "I guess I don't need you after all," I replied, my voice steady despite my breaking heart. He didn't respond. I left, wondering if I'd ever come back. I stood backstage, my heart pounding so hard I thought everyone could hear it. 300 people filled the auditorium, waiting to hear me speak. Me, Mia, who 6 months ago had been just another bride-to-be with a small social media presence. Now I was here, about to share my story with industry professionals. The moderator introduced me, and I walked onto the stage. The lights were blinding, but I found my center and began. 6 months ago, my fiancé refused to post our pre-wedding photo. That moment of rejection became my moment of transformation. I spoke about finding my voice, building my platform, and learning to value my own dreams. The audience was engaged, nodding along, taking notes. When I finished, they stood. Every single person in that room stood and applauded. I felt tears sting my eyes. This was validation beyond anything I'd imagined. Afterward, a woman in an elegant suit approached me. "Mia, I'm Jennifer Chun from Luxe Brand Collective. We'd love to discuss a major partnership with you." She handed me her card. A major brand wanted to work with me. Not with Mark and me. Just me. I stepped outside to call Mark, wanted to share this victory. The phone rang and rang. He didn't answer. I looked at Jennifer's card and made a decision. This was my success, and I didn't need anyone's validation but my own. The contract from Luxe Brand Collective sat on my kitchen table. 6 figures for a year-long partnership. More money than I'd ever imagined making. All I had to do was sign. My phone rang. "Mark. So, how was your little conference?" His tone was dismissive, almost mocking. "It was incredible. I got a standing ovation and a major brand deal." Silence. Then, "A brand deal? For what?" "For being myself. For building something authentic. For having value beyond being someone's fiancé." "Mia, this is getting out of control. You need to think about what's really important." "I am thinking about what's important. Maybe that's the problem." I hung up before he could respond. I picked up the pen and signed the contract. My mysterious mentor's email arrived minutes later. "Congratulations. You've just proven to yourself what I've known all along. You're capable of extraordinary things when you stop asking permission to shine." I stared at those words, feeling something shift deep inside me. How did this person always know exactly what was happening in my life? I typed, "Who are you really?" The response was immediate. "Someone who sees your potential. Someone who wants to watch you soar. Someone who knows what it's like to be held back by people who fear your success. Trust the process, Mia. The best is yet to come." I closed my laptop, feeling both excited and unsettled. This mentorship was changing my life, but the mystery of it all was starting to feel strange. My platform exploded after the conference. Followers doubled in a week. Partnerships multiplied. I was invited to speak at 3 more events. Magazines featured my story. A publishing company reached out about a book deal. I was building an empire, one post at a time. But my relationship with Mark was crumbling at the same rate. He stopped pretending to care about my success. Our conversations, when we had them, were cold and transactional. "Are you coming to dinner with my parents? Can you pick up my dry cleaning? What time will you be home?" "No, I'm proud of you." "No, that's amazing." "No, I love you." Just silence where support should have been. One evening, I received a notification that Mark had posted on Instagram for the first time in months. I opened it, curious. It was a photo of him at a work event, surrounded by colleagues, smiling broadly. The caption read, "Great night with the team. Grateful for the people who really matter." No mention of me. No tag. No acknowledgement that I existed. I stared at that photo, feeling the message behind it. He could post about work, about friends, about anything. He just couldn't post about me. The rejection wasn't about privacy or readiness. It was about control. About keeping me small. About making sure I knew my place. I was done knowing my place. That night, I transformed my pain into purpose, creating content about recognizing when someone is threatened by your success. It went viral immediately, resonating with thousands of women who'd experienced the same thing. The anonymous message appeared in my DMs on a random Tuesday morning. No profile picture, created that day, only following me. "You need to know the truth about Mark. He's not who you think he is. Check his business dealings. Ask him about the Henderson account. Ask him why he really didn't want that photo posted. The truth will destroy you, but you deserve to know." My hands trembled as I read it again. This felt different from my mentor's emails. This felt darker, more dangerous. I immediately called Mark. "We need to talk." "About the Henderson account." Dead silence. Then, "How do you know about that?" "So it's real?" "Mark, what's going on?" "Nothing you need to worry about." He hung up. I sat stunned. His reaction confirmed something was wrong. I started researching, using the same investigative skills I developed building my platform. The Henderson account was a client Mark had mentioned months ago. He'd said it was a difficult case but lucrative. Now I wondered what he'd really meant. I found news articles about financial irregularities at Henderson Corporation, reports of missing funds, allegations of fraud, and Mark's name, buried in one article, listed as a consultant on the account. My phone rang. A known number. "Hello." "Stop digging, Mia. You don't want to know what you'll find." The line went dead. I stared at my phone, fear creeping through me. What had Mark been involved in? And who was warning me away from the truth? I spent 3 days investigating Mark's business dealings, finding connections that made my stomach turn. The Henderson account wasn't just problematic, it was criminal. Money laundering, fraud, embezzlement. And Mark's consulting firm had been involved in covering it up. Documents I found online showed his signature on reports that cleared Henderson Corp. Despite obvious irregularities. He'd knowingly helped them hide illegal activity. Suddenly, his refusal to post our photo made sense. He didn't want public attention because he was hiding in the shadows, hoping no one would look too closely at his business. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. "It was business, Mia. Just business. Just business." "Mark, you helped criminals." "I helped clients navigate complex financial situations. That's my job. By breaking the law." He stood up, his face red with anger. "You don't understand the real world. You're too busy playing influencer to understand how actual business works. I understand that you're a criminal. I understand that you wanted to keep me quiet and invisible because my visibility threatened to expose you." His silence was admission enough. I packed a bag that night and left his apartment, knowing I'd never come back. As I drove away, my phone buzzed. "My mentor. The truth always surfaces. You made the right choice walking away. Now let's focus on building your future, not mourning your past." How did they know? How did they always know? The invitation came through my business email. "Dinner with Alexander Wright, CEO of Wright Enterprises. He's been following your journey and would like to meet personally." Alexander Wright was a billionaire entrepreneur known for investing in female-owned businesses and championing authentic branding. A meeting with him could change everything. I accepted, despite the guilt gnawing at me. Mark and I were technically still engaged, even though we'd barely spoken in 2 weeks. Was meeting another successful man a betrayal? The restaurant was exclusive, the kind of place where you needed connections just to get a reservation. Alexander was waiting at a private table, and when he stood to greet me, I was struck by his genuine warmth. "Mia, thank you for coming. I've been incredibly impressed by what you've built." We talked for 3 hours. About business, about authentic branding, about the challenges of building something real in a fake world. He shared his own story of starting with nothing and building an empire through integrity and innovation. "I see that same quality in you," he said. "That's rare and valuable." When dinner ended, He made an offer that took my breath away. I want to invest in your platform. Not just money, but mentorship, connections, resources. I believe you could build something that changes how people think about personal branding. I stared at him, overwhelmed. Why? Why would you invest in me? Because 6 months ago, I was the anonymous mentor who sent you that first email. The world stopped. You've been guiding me this whole time. He smiled. I believe in investing in people with potential. You had it from the start. I just helped you see it. I sat in my apartment, staring at Alexander's business card, my mind reeling. The mysterious mentor who'd guided me through every challenge, who'd always known exactly what I needed to hear, who'd helped me transform my life. It had been him all along. A billionaire entrepreneur had been anonymously mentoring me for months. Why? I called him immediately. I need to understand. Why the secrecy? Why help me anonymously? Because I wanted you to develop confidence in your own judgment, not dependency on mine. If you'd known who I was from the start, you might have second-guessed yourself, worried about meeting my expectations. This way, every success was genuinely yours. It made sense, but I still felt unsettled. What do you want from me now? I want you to accept my investment offer. Let me help you build something extraordinary. No strings, no hidden agendas. Just support from someone who recognizes your potential. I thought about Mark, about how he'd tried to keep me small and invisible. Then I thought about Alexander, who'd been supporting my growth from the shadows. The contrast was striking. I need time to think about it. Take all the time you need. But Mia, don't let fear hold you back. You've already proven you're capable of extraordinary things. After we hung up, I made a list of pros and cons. Accepting Alexander's investment meant fully committing to my platform, to this new life I'd built. It meant leaving behind any possibility of reconciliation with Mark. It meant choosing myself completely and permanently. My phone buzzed. Mark, we need to talk. Please. I stared at the message, then at Alexander's card. 2 futures. 1 choice. Which version of myself did I want to be? I agreed to meet Mark at a coffee shop, neutral territory for what I knew would be a difficult conversation. He looked terrible, dark circles under his eyes, rumpled clothes, defeated posture. Mia, I've been thinking a lot about everything that's happened between us. I waited, saying nothing. I know I haven't been supportive. I know I tried to control you and keep you from growing. I know I destroyed what we had. He paused, looking at his hands. I was scared. Scared that if you became successful, you'd realize you didn't need me. Scared that your growth would expose my failures. Scared of losing control. So you try to keep me small instead. He nodded miserably. I was wrong. About everything. The photo, your platform, your success. You were right to pursue it all. And I was wrong to stand in your way. Tears rolled down his cheeks. I'm asking for another chance. I'll support you completely. I'll change. Just please, don't throw away what we had. I looked at this man I'd almost married, feeling a complicated mix of sympathy and clarity. Mark, I appreciate your apology. But you didn't just fail to support me. You actively tried to diminish me. That's not something I can forgive or forget. Mia, please. I've been offered an investment opportunity that could transform my platform into something massive. Accepting it means committing fully to this path, to this version of myself you never wanted me to be. He was crying openly now. What are you saying? I'm saying we're done. Really done. The engagement is over. He sobbed, but I felt only relief. Walking away from Mark meant walking toward myself, completely and permanently. I called Alexander the next day. I accept your investment offer. Excellent decision. Let's build something extraordinary together. The contract signing happened in his downtown office, surrounded by floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. As I signed my name, I felt the weight of my old life lifting. Over the next month, Alexander's team helped me transform my platform from a personal brand into an actual business. We hired staff, created content strategies, developed product lines. My following exploded to over 200,000. Revenue from partnerships exceeded 6 figures, monthly. I moved into a new apartment in the city's best neighborhood. I hired a personal assistant. I spoke at major conferences across the country. Everything I dreamed about was coming true, bigger and better than I'd imagined. But Mark's breakdown weighed on me. He'd left dozens of voicemails, each more desperate than the last. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I can't function without you. I'm going to therapy. I'm working on myself. Please give me a chance to show you I've changed. I see now what I lost. You were always extraordinary, and I was too insecure to celebrate that. Part of me felt guilty, but a larger part felt free. One evening, Alexander invited me to a gallery opening. We weren't dating. Our relationship was strictly professional, but we'd become genuine friends. You've done something remarkable, he said, looking at me with pride. You've taken one moment of defiance and turned it into an empire. The nomination email from the National Business Association arrived on a Thursday morning. Mia Thompson has been nominated for Young Entrepreneur of the Year. Her innovative approach to authentic personal branding has transformed the digital marketing landscape. I stared at my computer screen, unable to process what I was reading. Young Entrepreneur of the Year. Me. The same woman who 6 months ago had been crying over a rejected photo. Now I was being recognized alongside CEOs and founders who'd built multi-million-dollar companies. Alexander called within minutes of the announcement. Congratulations. This is incredible recognition. I can't believe it's real. Believe it. You've earned every bit of this success. The award ceremony was scheduled for 2 months away. As the date approached, media coverage intensified. Magazines profiled my journey. Podcasts interviewed me about building authentic brands. My platform grew to over 500,000 followers. But the recognition that meant most came from the women who messaged me daily, sharing how my story had inspired them to pursue their own dreams despite partners or family who doubted them. Your courage to post that photo changed my life. I left my unsupportive boyfriend and started my own business. Watching you choose yourself taught me that I could too. These messages reminded me why I'd started this journey. Not for fame or money, but for authenticity and self-worth. The night before the awards ceremony, I received an unexpected text from Mark. I saw you're nominated for Entrepreneur of the Year. Congratulations. You deserve it. I'm sorry I never said that when we were together. I stared at the message, feeling nothing but closure. I stood backstage at the National Business Association Awards ceremony, wearing a designer gown Alexander had insisted on buying me. You need to look like the entrepreneur you are, he'd said. The ballroom held 500 business leaders, and I was about to find out if I'd won. When they announced my name as Young Entrepreneur of the Year, I felt my knees go weak. I walked onto that stage, accepted the Crystal Award, and looked out at the audience. Then I saw him, Mark, standing in the back of the ballroom, watching. Our eyes met across the distance. He looked proud and devastated simultaneously. I began my speech. 6 months ago, my then-fiancé refused to post our pre-wedding photo. That moment of rejection became my catalyst for transformation. I shared my journey, the viral photo, the platform building, the choice to pursue success over comfort, the investment that changed everything. I learned that the right people celebrate your growth. They don't try to contain it. After my speech, as I navigated the crowd of congratulations, Mark approached. Mia, can we talk? I glanced at Alexander, who nodded. I'll give you 2 privacy. Mark and I stepped into a quiet hallway. That speech was incredible. You're incredible. I see that now. Thank you. I've been in therapy since we broke up, working through my issues with control and insecurity. I'm a different person now. He paused. Is there any chance? No, Mark. I'm happy for you that you're growing. But we're done. You'll always be the man who tried to keep me small. His face crumpled, but he nodded. I understand. I hope you know I'm genuinely proud of you. We stood in silence for a moment. Then I walked away, back to my celebration, back to my success, back to the life I'd built without him. A week after the awards ceremony, I hosted a celebration at my new office space. My team, Alexander, business partners, and friends filled the modern loft space, decorated with photos chronicling my journey. The viral pre-wedding photo held the central position, a reminder of where everything began. Mark had sent flowers with a note, congratulations on all your success. Thank you for teaching me what real strength looks like. I donated the flowers to a women's shelter. I didn't need his validation anymore. During the party, Alexander pulled me aside. I have one more surprise for you. I'd like you to join Wright Enterprises Board of Advisors. Your insight into authentic branding and digital marketing would be invaluable. I stared at him, overwhelmed. You want me on your board? I want your expertise helping shape the future of our investments. You've proven you have vision beyond your own success. That night, after everyone left, I sat alone in my office, looking at the award on my desk. I thought about Mia from 6 months ago, the woman who'd been terrified to post a photo without permission. She would never have imagined this moment. My phone buzzed. A message from Sarah, my friend who'd once criticized my choices. I owe you an apology. I was wrong to doubt you. Watching you succeed on your own terms has taught me to trust my own dreams. Thank you for showing me what's possible. I smiled, feeling the full weight of my transformation. This wasn't just about business success or awards. It was about proving that choosing yourself is never the wrong choice. I'm writing this from my corner office, looking out at the city skyline, reflecting on the journey that brought me here. It's been 8 months since Mark refused to post our pre-wedding photo. That moment of rejection sparked a transformation I could never have anticipated. Today, my platform reaches over 1 million followers. My business generates 7 figures annually. I've spoken at conferences across the country. I've helped dozens of women build their own authentic brands. And I've learned lessons I'll carry forever. The people who truly love you support your growth, not suppress it. Success isn't about proving doubters wrong, it's about proving yourself right. And sometimes, the best thing that can happen is someone refusing to celebrate you because it forces you to celebrate yourself. Mark reached out last month, asking if we could be friends. I declined, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity. He represents a version of me I've outgrown, and I have no interest in revisiting that person. Alexander has become not just an investor, but a genuine mentor and friend. He's teaching me how to scale my business, how to make strategic decisions, how to build something lasting. Every week, I receive messages from women sharing how my story inspired them to leave unsupportive relationships, start businesses, or simply believe in their own worth. These messages remind me why I chose this path. Last week, I launched a mentorship program for women building authentic personal brands. 50 women enrolled in the first cohort, each with their own story of being told they weren't enough, weren't ready, weren't worthy of success. I see myself in every single one of them. The pre-wedding photo that started everything still hangs in my office, but now it represents something different. Not a moment of romance, but a moment of rebellion. Not a celebration of love, but a declaration of independence. Mark got married recently. I saw the announcement on social media. His new wife looked happy, and I genuinely hope she is. I hope he's learned to celebrate her instead of containing her. As for me, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Building, growing, succeeding, and most importantly, helping other women do the same. If you're reading this and you're waiting for permission to shine, to succeed, to celebrate yourself, stop waiting. The only permission you need is your own. When someone tries to keep you small, make yourself impossible to ignore. When someone refuses to post your photo, post it yourself and watch it change your life. My journey started with one defiant click of a button. Yours can start today. Choose yourself. Always choose yourself. Because the moment you do, everything changes.